Hi guys, Miss Linda here again, and it's time for our new book. Well, actually, it's going to be not going to really be a new one, but we'll talk about that in a minute. First, we're going to do our song that tells you it's time to come to the computer and listen to Miss Linda's story. And it goes like this. Sing with me if you remember it. Eyes are watching, ears are listening, voices quiet, bodies calm. This is how we listen. This is how we listen at book time. At book time. Yes, it's time to come and listen to story time now. Do you guys remember last week we read a story? We're going to read this one again because there's some stuff we might have missed in it, and I just want to see if you guys remember any. Do you remember on our cover we had it was Wemberly the mouse, and she was worried. I remember a couple of things that she was worried about. Do you guys remember? Let's read and see if you're right. Wemberly worried about everything. There she is. And remember, she had a friend that she held. She worried about big things and little things and things in between. So big and little and kind of in between. She worried about things of all sizes. Wemberly worried in the morning. She worried at night. And she worried throughout the day. Her mother always said, "You worry too much." Her father said, "When you worry, I worry." "Worry, worry, worry," her grandma said. Too much worry." Here's her family. At home, Wemberly worried about the tree. Do you remember the big tree in her front yard? She's looking at it. She's worried about that. She worried about, remember, on the wall, what was that? Yeah, it was a crack. She worried about the crack in the wall. And she worried about the noise that the radiator made. The radiator, that's a kind of new word. That's another word for a heater. When her heater turned on, it made a rattling noise. And that worried Wemberly too. And then, do you remember what this place is that she went to? Yeah, the playground. She worried about a lot of things at the playground. The chains on the swing, the bolts on the slide, and the bars on the jungle gym. She worried about all of that. And she always worried about her doll. Do you remember what her doll's name was? It was Petal. She worried about Petal all the time. Petal is lost forever, she thought. But do you remember where she found her? Yeah, she was in the washer. I wonder why she was in the washer. When do you guys put things in the washer? Well, your mom puts stuff in the washer. Yeah, when they get dirty. You're right. Don't worry, said her mother. Don't worry, said her father. But Wemberly still worried. She worried and worried and worried some more. Do you remember these pictures? When she worried, she did something with her doll's ears. You're right, she rubbed them. And she was worried they weren't going to have, her doll wouldn't have any ears left because she rubbed it so much. You guys are remembering some of this book. And then, what was happening here? Yeah, she had a birthday party, and she was worried that none of her friends were going to come. Did they come? Yep, they sure did. Look at how many there were. Her mom said, "See, you didn't have anything to worry about. Your friends all came." But then she had a new worry. Remember, she worried if there was going to be enough cake for all of those friends. Then there was another special time. This is coming soon for us, too. Do you remember what this is called? Yeah, Halloween, when you get to wear costumes. And where is she? She was right here. She was a butterfly, remember? At first she thought everybody was going to be a butterfly. Are they all butterflies? No, I see a ghost and a cheese and an elephant. So they're different kinds of costumes. And she was the only butterfly. And then she was like, oh no, now I'm the only butterfly. She was still worrying. Then, again, her mom said, you worry too much, Wemberly. And her dad said, when you worry, I worry. Worry, 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 said her grandma. You worry too much, Wemberly. Soon, Wemberly had a new worry. She was going somewhere. Do you remember where she was going? Yeah, she was going to school. And remember we talked about some of my friends go to school right now. Some of my friends are doing school here on the computer with Miss Linda. So someday soon, you guys might be there too. So remember we were talking about what happens to Wemberly when she went. She was a little bit worried. And these were all of her worries. She worried that if nobody wore stripes like her, if nobody else brought a doll, what if she was the only one with a doll at school? And remember, she thought, what if her teacher was mean? But we talked about that. Teachers aren't mean. We're there to help you. She said, what if my classroom's stinky? I haven't met a stinky classroom yet, so don't worry about that. What if they make fun of my name? What if I can't find the bathroom? What if I don't have a snack? What if they don't like the snack I bring? What if, remember, she worried if she started to cry. Have you guys ever cried? I have too, and that's okay. And hopefully nobody would make fun of her, but I don't think they would, because her mom told her again, don't worry. And her father said, don't worry, but she's still worried. Look at the author. That's the person that wrote the words to our book. He said, she worried all the way to school. He made the words big, so we say them really loud. So we know she was worried all the way to school. Don't worry, Wemberly. School's not bad. When Wemberly's parents, while they talked to the teacher, Wemberly went to look around her classroom. Her teacher said, Wemberly, there's somebody I want you to meet. Remember she showed her some of her friends? She said, a little girl, her name is Jewel, and she is standing by herself. And when she looked at her, she noticed that she had stripes on too. Remember, she worried about if anybody else would have stripes on. And she was holding a doll. Remember, she worried about that too. At first, Wemberly and Jewel just kind of peeked at each other. They looked at one another. That means peek is another word for looking. They showed each other their dolls. This is Petal. This is Niblet. So they got to meet each other's dolls. Petal waved, and Jewel waved back with her hand. Hi, they said to each other. She whispered, I rub my doll's ears. And Jewel whispered, I rub my doll's nose. So they kind of do the same things, don't they? Does she sound as nervous now? No, she sure doesn't, because she was making friends. Throughout the morning, they played together side by side. Every chance they could, they played. They built blocks. They went down the slide. They played on a drum. They were having fun. And Wemberly worried. Did she worry as much now? No, remember? She worried just a little bit. Not as much as before, because why? The difference? She had a friend now. Yay, I'm so glad for Wemberly she had a friend. It made her feel better. Just like you and me are getting to know each other better. Remember when you first met me? Some of my friends were a little bit nervous to talk to me on the computer. And now you guys are doing so good because you guys aren't as nervous either. Good job. Let's see what happens now. Oh, it was time to go home. The day went that fast. And the teacher yelled out to him, "Come back tomorrow," as all of the students went out the door. So they were going home. The teacher said, "Come back." And do you guys remember what Wemberly said to her? She said, "Don't worry, I'll be back." And that was the end of our story. I'm so happy that Wimberly, even though she was worried, just notice her face. Her eyes are big, her hands are up, and she's a little bit nervous on our cover of our book. But now she wasn't nervous anymore once she started school. You guys did an awesome job listening. Thank you, and I'll be back with another story soon. Bye, my friends.